Hi, I'm not the special guest speaker. I'm just one of the guests, but I'm here to introduce your speaker for today. My name is Paul Yang. I'm the pastor of Pilgrim Mission Church in New Jersey, USA. This is my 50th year uh, moving to the state. So I've been living in America for 50 years. But I had a chance to visit Handong campus, I think for about 4 times in the past. But every time I come here, I go back with a special experience. So I'm so glad that I will have another wonderful experience here, which is having worship together with this English-speaking students. I felt like I'm sitting in our church's EM service. Yeah, not just Korean Americans, but international students too. It's a multi-ethnic congregation. I'm so honored to introduce to you the speaker of today. He's a man abandoned by his alcoholic mother when he was 12 years old, sitting in the street corner for 3 days without food, without drink, and nobody cares. But all of a sudden, one ordinary Christian man stopped by, and he took him to the church school camp. And when Pastor Bill shared the testimony with me, there's three words that really stuck in my head. That ordinary Christian person asked him, the 12 years old boy, abandoned for 3 days. The three words were, "Are you okay?" And also he shared his personal testimony of being hearing the gospel of Jesus Christ for the first time in his life. And after that, he said a prayer that nobody, even my mother, doesn't want me. And the other Christians didn't want me, and they didn't come to pray for me. But he said to the Lord that if you want me, here I am, I give you my life. This is the speaker, his embodiment of God's love and mercy. His life itself shows God's sovereignty and providence. And his life itself is a testimony what his mission is all about. So I'm so honored to introduce him to you. But before he comes up, we'll see a short video. Can you play the video?
It's all the same. Only the name will change every day. It seems we're wasted away. We know the place where the faces are so cold. I travel all night just to get there home. Sometimes I sleep. Sometimes it's not for days. The people I meet always go their separate ways. Sometimes you tell the day by the bottle that you drink. Love, all you do is think. These streets, only 6 strings, I play for keeps. So I might not make it back. I've been everywhere. Cowboy, I'm on my side. Whatever, still try.
Standing at the back. Up the mic. Standing at the back. Uh, you can learn a lot about how people worship. So I just came in, standing back, turn it up, turn it up. I saw some of you fiddling around with your phone, looking around. Okay, let me explain something before we go any further. All right. I've been shot twice. I've done 3 tours of Ukraine. I've seen 23 people murdered. So I don't have to play games with a bunch of people that don't want to be here. I'm way past that, just so you know that. I live in Brooklyn. When you've seen enough people murdered, as I have, just came back from Ukraine dealing with soldiers who've been castrated by the Russians. I'm way past all this. Thank you, sir, for allowing me to speak today. I'm sure you've had some great speakers here. You've had accomplished speakers. You have intellectual speakers. Yeah, I've got a couple of BAs, got an MA, got a PhD, got an MD. And you know what? That doesn't mean anything on the street, just so all of you know that. I'm talking about real life today. So it is not uncommon for me that in the middle of what I'm saying, if I come out and ask you a question, it would probably be good that you're actually having an answer, because I'll have you stand up, look at me, and give me an answer. So you may want to pay attention. Otherwise, you're going to look real stupid. And that's my gift. Now, in the course of life, I don't know where you guys are all from. Any Americans here? Americans? Okay. Some of you aren't sure. You put your hand up, you don't know. I get it. All right. So when you live in Brooklyn for 43 years and you have seen enough, been around enough, got all the accolades of a higher education, I applaud you. I like the school. Most of the schools I go to, I don't like them because it's a bunch of theory taught by a bunch of people that sometimes get it, sometimes don't. That's why I speak at universities all over the world, because it's just different. So my prayer for this run here is that something will happen. Something of substance will happen in the next few moments. I don't know which direction you want your life to go, but I would say this: if you, like, you guys have to be here, right? Like it's a requirement. You have to be in this. You got to be here. That's too bad. Okay. All right. Well, I'll give you that then, because if it was up to me, if you don't want to be here for me, I'd really rather you don't be here at all, because I'm 75 years old. When you've been shot twice, thrown off of a building, have 5 concussions, life just changes very, very quickly. So you probably have never really seen somebody get their brains blown out. Maybe you have, probably not. When you hold a little boy and he's dying and his chest is going up and down and his eyes go back and he's gone. Have you ever done that? Probably not, huh? Maybe. Maybe someday you'll get out of the proverbial bubble wherever you came from and realize that there's a whole big world out there that needs some people that have it here and here. Some Christians have it here, but they don't have it here. Some Christians have it here, but they're dumb as a rock. I don't know what you are because I don't know you. Turn this up a little bit, clean it up. So when I walk out there and I point to you and I ask you, what do you think? You may want to be thinking something and not be stooling around with your dopey little phone. I almost took a phone. I was standing at the back, almost took, because see, if I don't like somebody and what they do, I just take their phone. Because I could sell them on the street in New York for $100. I give it to missions. That's how we work. So if I see you messing around with your phone, I'll snatch that thing and you won't have a phone. In Jesus' name. So that's how today's going to play. Everybody okay with that? Y'all good? Everybody all right? All right, good. All right, we got somebody coming in here. Does that mean you're late or you're okay? No? Oh, okay. Just checking. Okay. It's Easter season, and I was thinking about what I wanted to talk to you guys about that would make sense. I was just in the Philippines a couple of days ago. I had about 48 Asian people that spent a week with us at Metro World Child in Manila. We do Sunday school in the garbage dumps. We, on Friday, we do Sunday school in the North Cemetery. It's the largest cemetery in Asia. And then after Sunday school on Friday afternoon, we had everybody stay in the tombs in the cemetery all night. Because every 5 years, the government gives them an opportunity to break open the graves, pull the skeletons out. You saw me holding the skull? Yeah, that wasn't just for the camera. So they pull the skeletons out so they can put another dead person in there. And so you've got 3 generations of people that live, over 1,000 people that live in the cemetery, not visiting for a funeral, that live there. 3 generations. So you've got little kids that live amongst the dead people. So let me ask you this. Do you have any idea how fortunate you are to be in the school? Do you really understand? Now, maybe it's because you've worked. I had to take 3 jobs when I was trying to get a BA because I didn't have a daddy or a mommy that wrote the check. So I had to work 3 jobs, but I understood the value of sitting there. That's the upside. And the great side of this school, and I could catch it as soon as I came in here today. I've made the rounds, been around all the universities in the States. My PhD is from the University of Wales. My MD is from the University of Paris. The time in Paris was horrible. Now I can't even eat French fries. I'm still traumatized for that whole experience, but that's another message. So I ask you again, do you really understand the opportunity that you guys have here? I don't know. Some of you may not learn it for a long time. this can be, should be, I believe will be a defining moment in your life. And so by watching these folks from Asia staying all night in the cemetery, working with the kids that live in the garbage dump, maybe some of you need to do that sometime. Just run with me and let's see what you're made of. Let's see how tough you really are. Tough enough to make it in life, tough enough to do mission work, tough enough to get out of the bubble and say, boy, it's a big world out there. A lot of needs. What do you think? You up for that? We'll see. But in these couple of minutes that I've got now, they told me is we're done by 5:15. That sounds about right. I was doing some research from John chapter 20. It's the first Easter. And you've got three of Jesus's closest friends that come to the empty tomb. They look inside, and I wish I could have been there, because if I'd have been there, I'd ask them the same question as I'm going to keep asking you until you walk out those doors, because I'm going to push you today. I'm going to press you to answer a question, because you can't answer this question in the crowd. This is an individual question. You got to answer it for your own self. The question sounds simple, but the answer, maybe not so much. When those three friends of Jesus came to the tomb and they looked in, man, I wish I could have been there, because I would have asked them the question, what do you see? What exactly do you see? It's a question I'm going to ask you guys over and over and over till you answer it. What do you see? So let's take a look in this 20th chapter of John. And what do you see? Give me that first picture up there. I think that's Dave. David? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, can you turn these lights down so I can see? Yeah. This is in Ethiopia. We found this little girl. Her hands and feet were tied to a tree. Her mother didn't want her. Her parents didn't want her. They kept her for a while, and then they just decided they didn't want her, so they tied her up to the tree in the bush. And I got to the orphanage, and one of the staff said, Pastor Bill, we heard that there's a girl tied to a tree. I said, has anybody gone to look? And of course, nobody had, because they're all Christians. Would have seemed normal, since you have an orphanage there, that somebody would have had good enough sense to say, we heard there's a kid tied to a tree, but apparently that eluded somebody's intelligence. I said, give me the keys to the Jeep. I grabbed a couple of staff members from the orphanage. We're driving around for about an hour, and we found the little girl. Sure enough, hands tied up, feet tied up. They had a set of cutters in the Jeep. I jumped out, cut her loose, picked her up, took her to the orphanage, and I took this picture myself. Now, when a kid is at the edge of starvation, like this little girl was, her name was Rosie. I've been around enough, done enough medical work, I've been around starving kids long enough to know when they're at this level, sometimes you can bring them back, and sometimes you just can't. Because all of you know then when someone is starving, the body essentially is eating itself. So this is what you're looking at here. You ought to thank God you live where you live. Would you kind of like me to go over that again with you? Do you understand how privileged you are to be here? This little girl did not have the same opportunities in life as most of you have. Let me slip down here for just a minute. Let me look. You okay? Sit up or walk out. Make the call. Don't sleep when I'm talking. You're not smart enough. Okay? You got it? Okay. So, I took this picture. I got back to LA. I was going to preach at a service, like I will, church down the street here, Friday night. And I told this story of Rosie, and there was one ordinary Christian that was sitting in the audience, just like you guys. Heard the story of Rosie. She got it. She got it. She saw something when she saw the picture. She got it. She ran to the back, became a child sponsor, sponsored Rosie, prayed for the little girl every day. Sponsors sent boxes of protein out there to Ethiopia. There was no Wi-Fi at the orphanage. We didn't know if this girl's dead or alive. Couldn't reach it. So I thought, I'm going back to Ethiopia. This was about 6 months later. Didn't know if Rosie was dead or alive. So I thought, I'm close enough to that orphanage. I need to find out. So I drove a little out of the way, came up, knocked on the orphanage door. First one out was Rosie. Give me the next picture. After 6 months of this sponsor sponsoring the little girl. Well, just to be a good place for you to give God a real hand clap of praise. Right about there. Okay, when we bring those pictures up, I need them bigger than this. So Dave, when I bring those pictures up, I need you to fill them out size. Take that one down now, because we're going to move along. But I wanted you to see this picture of what happened when one ordinary Christian, just like you guys, and I'm assuming all of you are Christians. I hate to assume that, but just for location's sake, I'll go with it. And they saw one little girl that nobody wanted. I get that, because when my mother left me on the street corner, yeah, I get it. I don't know what your background is. Maybe some of you have the same background as I do. Maybe not. But when that lady made a decision to take care of that little girl in Ethiopia, somebody was standing between the living and the dead. She made a difference. She saw something. It clicked. It was a defining moment for Rosie, but it was also a defining moment for that lady. You understand what I'm saying? So, I want you to follow me for a couple of minutes. I won't be up here too long. Get the lights back and forth. We're going to do pictures. And yeah, there we go. Thanks, Dave. In this 20th chapter of John, the first Easter, 3 of Jesus's closest friends come to the empty tomb. The stone is moved, the tomb is empty, and 3 of Jesus's closest friends look in the tomb, And like I said, if I was there, I would have asked them, what do you guys see? What do you see? I asked you, what did you see when you saw the picture of Rosie? And you know what's funny with people? Everybody sees the same thing, but they see it all different ways, don't they? What did you see when you saw the little girl starving to death? Was that just another picture like you see in National Geographic? What you see? What would you see? And then after 6 months, and there was a transformation, which is pretty extraordinary. What did you see when you saw the before and after? Because I'm going to keep asking you the question, what do you see? Look in the first verse of this 20th chapter of John. First day of the week, Mary Magdalene comes in. She's early. It was dark. She sees the sepulcher, the stone was empty, the stone was rolled away. She sees the stone was taken away from the sepulcher. Now, most of you probably have read that just as a point of historical reference. I'm not going to bore you with a lot of Greek. I like Greek. I like Greek food. It's much better than Korean food. Oh, shut up. Shh. I apologize. But I'm not going to bore you with a lot of Greek. I like to be a little Greeky, so I teach Greek. I like Greek. So I'm going to take you with a little bit of Greeky today to kind of get you to see something that maybe jives with you a little bit. Mary comes to the tomb in verse 1. She sees the stone is moved. She obviously sees the tomb is empty. And it says in verse 1, she sees the stone was moved. She sees. That word see or saw, depending on whatever translation you're looking at, is actually the Greek word blepo, B-L-E-P-O, blepo in the Greek. Why is that important for you guys? It's real important because Mary gets to, she knew Jesus. She knew the man. She heard his message. She saw the miracles. You ever seen a real miracle? Well, you're probably too young for that. You ever seen a real miracle right in front of your face? Not something you read in a book, not something you see on TV. I'm talking about witnessing the miraculous. You ever seen a real miracle? I hope before you die, you will have an opportunity to actually witness the miraculous. I got hit with a brick in Brooklyn several years ago. It was a robbery. Guy got a brick, hit me right here, broke a few teeth out, busted my face, and had a blood clot behind my right eye. I was completely blind in my right eye for months. Now, I've given my whole life for the ministry. And now, I'm blind in this eye. You ever notice how Christians always like to say, poor me? Poor me. Shut up. Don't embarrass yourself. Poor me. I'm blind in this eye. Committed myself to the ministry. Very frustrating time for me. That was several years ago when all this happened. It was the closest I ever came to quitting the ministry. I'm not a quitter. I don't even like quitters. If you're going to not finish something, don't start it. Does that kind of make sense? You start it, finish the thing. Okay? I'm not a quitter, but I was frustrated. I couldn't see. I was driving the Sunday school bus, had a patch on my eye, looked like a stupid pirate. Very frustrated. So it was Sunday night. I made up my mind, I'm done. I'm leaving JFK. I bought the ticket. I'm not thinking about quitting. I bought the ticket, man. I'm out. Done. Sunday night, I knew that my life was getting ready to change. If I quit, I'm done. But I was so frustrated. I was so disappointed. I was so discouraged. I went to bed. I set the alarm for 6 a.m. Monday morning. I had the ticket, man. I had the ticket. I'm out. Couldn't sleep. Set the alarm for 6. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't sleep. I remember seeing the alarm at 3 a.m. Still couldn't sleep. And I guess I must have dozed off for a few hours. So the alarm goes off at 6. I reached over, turned on the light, and then I saw it. My pillow was covered with blood, and I could see fine out of both eyes. Something happened between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. What happened? That's exactly what happened. God came. Some of you have never seen a miracle, have you? Yeah. You are living and around right now. You're looking at a living miracle. You didn't think a miracle would look like this, did you? I know it's a little disappointing. Just back it up. When you've been around the miraculous, I've prayed since then. I prayed for people that were blind. I prayed for them, saw them, their sight was restored. God's used me as a conduit to pray for people that were blind. Made sense. I prayed for people that were deaf, instantly healed. I prayed for a bunch of dumb young people. They were not healed. So there's hope for all of you. The miraculous eludes so many people. I know, I get it, guys. I get it. Mary gets to the tomb. She knew Jesus. She saw the miracles. She heard the message. And now she's looking in an empty tomb. And what did she see? What did she see? She should have known exactly what she was looking at. She should have understood. She saw Jesus. She saw the miracles. And now she looks. Blepo. You know what that word blepo means in Greek? It means she just saw with her eyes. She looked in. Oh, stones moved. Oh, tomb's empty. But she didn't exactly know what she was looking at. So let me just throw this out as all of you are kind of winding down here. I don't want to bore you, but if you look bored, I'll bore you even more. So just even look like you're paying attention. It'll help both of us. And she looks in, Blepo, she just saw with her eyes. What do you see, Mary? She should have known what she was looking at, but she didn't get it. Oh. You ever know people that should understand what? See, you are living and enjoying the fruit. This university, you're enjoying the fruit and the shade of trees that you never planted. Let me say this again for the cheap seats, way in the back. You enjoy this, all the folks, this beautiful building, this beautiful campus. Do you have any idea whatsoever of what it takes to turn the lights on in this place every day? I'll slap you myself. Because you don't have a clue. You've never built a hot dog stand. You don't have a clue what it takes to do what this is and what it does and what it's investing in your life. Shame on you. So don't look at me at some stupid look on your face. I'll slap it right off you. You know I will now, don't you? Yeah. You're enjoying the fruit and the shade of trees you never planted, but you're enjoying the fruit. You like the shade. Wake up, man. Wake up. Grow up. Grow up. Mm-hmm. What do you see, Mary? She didn't get it. Blepo, she just saw stones moved, tombs empty. Give me another picture, David. You see. Mary, she was trying to figure it out. Oh, turn the lights down. Let me look at this. Oh, this was in Haiti. What do you see here? Two of our Metro Sunday School girls just got done doing Sunday school in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. You ever been to Port-au-Prince? You ever been to Haiti? Oh, why would I even ask that? Of course you haven't been. Yeah. Our girls were driving the Sunday school truck back to the office, and they saw this pregnant woman laying on the side of the road, blood coming out of her nose, blood coming out of her mouth. Everybody's just walking by. Yeah, same old stuff, folks. It's all the same, only the names change. Yeah. They pulled the truck over, jumped out. They can't speak the language. The woman was barely conscious. Nobody wanted to help. Our two Sunday school girls picked the woman up, put her in the Sunday school truck, took her to the hospital. But then when they got to the hospital, they found out she was not pregnant at all. Dave, give me that next picture. Let's take a look. Let me see. When they got to the hospital, bring it up, please. Bring the picture so I can see it. Oh. See, 30 seconds ago, you thought you were looking at a pregnant woman. I guess you were wrong, weren't you? Don't put your heads down. Look at it. Look at real life, man. Toughen up. Toughen up. See, today's real life day. That's why I'm leaving this picture up just long enough to make you uncomfortable. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Pretty simple. That tumor had been growing in her for years. Years. Take the picture down, Dave. You thought you were looking at a pregnant woman. I guess you were wrong, weren't you? I wonder what else some of you could be wrong about. Good question, huh? What do you see, Mary? Blepo, she only saw with her eyes. She could have got it. She could have understood it. She should have, but she didn't. What do you see? What do you see when you see the world through a different set of eyes? See, that's why I'm here. I don't live like you guys. It's not wrong. It's not right. It's just different. Just different. Wait a minute. Look at verse 6. Look at Peter comes to the tomb in verse 6. If anybody should have understood what he was looking at, it should have been Peter. He walked on water. See, everybody wants to walk on water, right? But nobody wants to get out of the boat. I said it in the early forum. Everybody wants to change the world, but nobody wants to change the toilet paper. Oh, yeah, I get it. Yeah. Peter comes to the tomb. Look at it in verse 6. He goes into the tomb, into the sepulcher, and it says he sees the linen clothes, the empty grave clothes. Now Peter shows up. He looks. He sees the same thing that Mary saw. Oh, stones moved. Oh, tomb's empty. Oh, and he looks, and in your translation, in your Korean Bible or whatever kind of translation you're looking at? When Mary looked in verse 1, it's see, saw, blepo. She just saw with her eyes. But when Peter looks in, it's the same look, same word, see or seeth in your translation, but it's not in the Greek. It's a Greek word, theorio, which is where we get the English word theory. Mary looks in, it's blepo. Oh, she just sees with her eyes. Oh, she doesn't get it. She doesn't know exactly what she's looking at, but Peter looks in, he looks at it, same word, see or seeth, but then it's theorio, and it means he's putting together a theory. He's looking, he's trying to figure out what he's looking at. Is he alive? I don't know. He said he would live, but I'm not sure. I want to believe it, but I'm not convinced. Is he alive or not? I don't know. And Peter looks in, a theorio. He's putting a theory or a hypothesis together. He's trying to figure out what he's looking at. Mary, she saw with her eyes, but Peter saw with his mind. Oh, I think Peter was from Korea. or probably America. And he looks in, he's trying to figure it out, trying to understand, trying to grasp it. How in the world is that possible? He walked on water, man. He lived a miracle. Oh, and now he's looking at an empty tomb. And if anybody should have understood exactly what they were looking at, it should have been Peter. But he's still trying to figure it out, isn't he? Yeah, I get it. I get it. Give me another picture, David. Let's see what else we got. See what you see from this one. Bring the lights down. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know who this guy is. Yeah, you won't forget today, will you? I know. Don't you love it? Yeah. But who's that guy? Well, you don't know who that guy is. Let me introduce you to that guy. Get that picture a little bigger, Dave. I want to get this right on the big screen. Yeah, not that big. Work with me, Dave. Work with me. You know who that guy is? That's the guy who picked me up off the street where my mother left me. Oh, now you know who that is, don't you? Yeah. You're looking at an ordinary Christian, my friends. His own son was in the hospital dying of leukemia. He was actually going that afternoon to visit his dying son. But he saw me on the street corner. He stopped, walked over, put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Are you okay?" Yeah. Ordinary Christians can do some extraordinary things for Jesus Christ. Are you that kind of person who gets this? Or you're still, Yeah. I'm looking for a reason to slap somebody. So I haven't been in a fight in a couple weeks. You think I'm kidding? No, I ain't kidding. Nope. Because this is real life today. This is real life. This is real missions. This is real people that see beyond themselves in their own little life, in their own little bubble, and realize it's only one life and it'll soon be past. Only the things done for Christ are going to last anyway. Nothing you do matters as much as what you do for Christ. Yeah. Nothing will matter. That man saw something in me on the street corner that my own mother did not see. He saw. So I'm pushing you and I'm asking you, what do you see? Go with me to the garbage dump. Go with me to Africa. Go with me and let the Holy Ghost grab you by the throat and ask yourself, Take the picture down. What do you see? What do you see, Mary? Oh, tomb's empty. She couldn't figure it out. I wish I could explain it better, but I can't. Bleppo, she only saw with her eyes. Peter, he shows up. Theorio, he sees with his mind. He's trying to figure it out. He's trying. Well, wait a minute. Then John, the other disciple, he shows up in verse 8. He shows up. He looks in there and he saw. Oh, and he saw. He saw. Huh. There's an old song we used to sing when I was a kid in the church. Because, see, my mother never came back. So I lived in the church in a broom closet. Yeah. Went to school every day. Lived at the church. Did my homework. And I prayed every day walking home from school. You know what I prayed? I said, God, whoever is supposed to bring me their leftovers tonight, God, don't let them forget me. That was my one meal a day. Yeah. And John looked in on that tomb, that scene, saw the same thing as Mary saw the same thing as Peter saw. He looks in, and it says, he saw, and what? He saw, comma, and he believed. My God. He looks in and he gets it. He sees, like I said, it's that old song we used to sing. You ask me how I know he lives. He lives within my heart. You don't know that song, do you? You're too young. Yeah. You just know the dumb choruses. John looks in. He saw and he believed. He saw, he looks in. Oh, he's alive. What is the difference between Mary, Peter, and John? Because see, in verse 8, when John looks in, he saw, it's a different Greek word again. Different Greek word again. This is why it all makes sense, guys. This is why I'm pushing you this hard. Because I got to get you to understand and answer the question, what do you actually see? Mary, blepo, saw with her eyes. Peter, theorio, he sees with his mind. John looks in there and he saw, and it's the Greek word ido, E-I-D-O, silent E, ido. And ido is perfect translation. He looks, he sees, he believes. Boom, boom, boom. Done. Not a question. Not a question. Doesn't have to try to figure it out. Living in America, it's a tough time right now. There's people your age trying to figure out, are there a man or a woman? I don't know which bathroom you guys go to, but stay in the men's room. Just stay in the men's room. Don't go to the chicks' room. Okay, you know? And it's kind of funny, but it's kind of not that funny because it's very frustrating and it makes you really angry that when a culture, when a society gets so messed up, when they leave God, they wonder why. The problems in schools is because when they chose to take God out of the schools. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So don't question, because this country is going down the same path. It's the same issues, same listen, craziness. I get it, guys. I get it. So, what do you see? What have you seen for these couple of minutes? The things I've tried. Just give me another picture, Dave, because my time's about gone. But throw me a picture up here. And let's see. This isn't as easy to figure out as this. Okay, yeah. What do you see here? Not quite as easy to figure out maybe as the other ones. This is in Haiti as well. When the kids are starving and you see them dead in the street, what the government does, they take dirt, mix it with water, and they make mud. You got a close up. I think I had a close up, Dave. The next picture, if you can bring that one up for David. The next picture, please, quickly. There's a close up, I think. We can, yeah, there. That's it. See, I take these pictures myself because I have to show you guys. Because if I don't show you, you think I'm lying. Because you've never done this. You've never been to these places. You don't get it. You got your little hike. I get it. I get it. I've encountered this part of the world for 25 years. I get it. That's why I got to ask you, what do you see? So take a good look at this. The government makes these, they call them mud pies. Mud with water. They put them in the sun, lay them out like this, stack them up so that when the kids are screaming, crying of starvation, the government feeds them these mud pies. It makes the kids stop crying until they die. Oh, well, you didn't know that, did you? Big old smart university students. You know everything, don't you? No, you don't. Not even close. Nope. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to get you to see something beyond your little world. To see something that maybe God is trying to birth in some of you, to go to the mission field, to go to full-time ministry, to go out and see what an ordinary Christian can do and make a difference. That man had no idea what I would do. I was 12 years old. I still have a deformed rib cage right here because I had rickets from malnutrition. I couldn't speak right. I stuttered. Nobody wanted me. Nobody ever thought. And yet here I am with you guys. How's that happen? How does that kind of stuff actually happen? It's when ordinary people, just like me and you, see something through the eyes of the Spirit of God. And let the Spirit of God get a hold of you and say, here am I, Lord. Send me. Send me. Here I am with all my problems, all my drama, all my foolishness, all my mistakes. God, send me. Mary looks in. Lepo, she only sees with her eyes. Peter looks in. He's trying to get the theory, trying to figure out. He sees with his mind. But then John looks in. I know. He sees with his heart. He sees with his heart. What do you see? Yeah. Guess my time's gone. Some of you in the back look bored, so I gotta shut it down. But before I go, I got one more video I took live from the Ukraine. My second tour, when my assignment was to talk with the little girls and the mothers who were in a village outside on the west side of Kyiv. And yeah, you can take that picture down. We're gonna do the video in a minute, Dave. So just hold on. get that video ready because, you know, fighting age men, 18 to 60, they were all on the front line of the war. So the only ones left in most of those villages is the women and the old men and the children. So in this one village, the Russians lined up the tanks in a circle, got all the little girls and all the mothers, put them on the ground, ripped the little girls' clothes off, laid them on the ground naked, forced the mothers to watch while the Russian soldiers gang raped the little girls that were 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Yeah. Take a look. Bring it up, Dave. Bring it up. Missile hit the house.
Пидорасы, сука!
The soldier
She was trying to explain.
found a little
and said
boy.
She just put the boy in the back room, and a shell had hit the front of the
The
house.
medics
and the back of the
trying to
house,
save the kid's
and
life.
The whole thing fell in on the little one. And the rescue crews came in. They pulled him out of the rubble, laid him on the ground, and the medics are trying to resuscitate him. And then there's a soldier standing there.
You see him.
He's
He's standing guard. He's got his rifle. He's just standing guard.
His rifle, and he's standing over the boy while the medics are trying to save him. And there's a word, Ukrainian, zasnik. It means defender. But there's something about some of these guys when there's a little boy, little girl that's been shot or killed. They stand there, the medics working on the kid. They're guarding. It's that zasnik. This little guy didn't make it, but still, because they were putting him in the ambulance, and he's done. But the soldier still stayed,
Soldier
and he stayed guard.
standing guard.
Stand guard. Honestly, that boy. I've spent my whole life to try to be a guardian. I've been trying to stand guard to kids all over the world, trying to do the best that I can. After all these years, to stand guard. I'm trying to stand guard. Maybe some make it, some don't. But somebody has to stand guard. Thank you for letting me. Please stand guard. Stand watch. Somebody has to. And I'll keep on doing it.
I watched as that little boy died on the ground. They put him in the ambulance. And I watched as that soldier came over. And as the ambulance was driving away, I watched that soldier just bow his head. Until the end, he was standing guard. I tried to tell you in the video, I've spent my whole life trying to stand guard for a generation. I saw something. I saw those little girls who've been gang raped by the Russians. I drove a bus with 23 of them and their mothers all across Ukraine, 23 out, went across, got them to Poland, tried to get them to a hospital. One little girl, she'd been mutilated so horribly. Little girl named Svetlana. And I got her to the hospital. And I had to go to the Warsaw airport to catch a flight back to JFK. But that little girl, even as I was getting in the cab to go to the Warsaw airport, she was standing at one of the windows at the hospital, and she was just waving to me. Because I told her for all those hours on the bus, I said, Svetlana, Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you. He's got a plan for your life. He loves you. And even though I can't speak Ukrainian, she got it. She could see. She could see. She could see. She got it. She didn't make it either. She didn't make it. They mutilated her body beyond repair. So I'm going to ask you one last time, and then I'm done. What do you see? What do you saw? You see? What did you really see? What do you want to see? Do you even care what you see? Or is it all about you, man? Because some of you think it's all about you. Yeah. Hate to tell you, but it's not all about you. It's just not. What do you see, Mary? Blepo. She didn't get it. Should have, but didn't. What do you see, Peter? Theorio. He's trying, man. He's trying to figure it out. And then John goes, oh, he's alive. I never had a doubt. So this Easter Sunday morning, for those of you to go to church, maybe you can ask yourself one last time, what do you see? First Easter, kind of an important one, wasn't it? What did you see today? The pictures, the kids, the mud pies, the Ukrainian soldier trying to save a kid's life and stood guard. What do you see? Bow your heads bowed, eyes closed. Nobody looking around, please. Piano player, come to the piano, please. Just quietly. Time's gone. I think my prayer was pretty simple. I was sitting out there before the meeting, and I said, Lord, just let my friends see something. Just please. I asked her to play that song, Open the Eyes of My Heart, because I think it's kind of where we're at today. That was my prayer, sitting out there watching you guys getting ready to come in here, because I knew for some of you, this time was going to be a defining moment for some of you. Not all of you, because not all of you are going to get it. I knew that before I even got in here, but some of you got it. Some of you got it. Huh. Lord, open the eyes of our heart. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. Oh, I want to see you high and lifted up. Oh, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Now listen to it, listen. And we sing, holy, 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 holy. I want to see you. And we sing, holy, holy, and we sing, holy, 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 holy. I want, oh, I want to see you. I want to see you. to see you.
Let's close this chapel with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we have also forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you, guys. God bless. Have a nice week. Thank you.